America is a Druidic country. Canada is Druidic. Like I said, Western civilization is a Druidic establishment. The Druids were a very powerful priesthood in Europe, even before the Roman Empire existed. And they were the attorneys, the lawyers, the religious leaders, the politicians. It was called the Druidic system. And one of the most important symbols in the Druidic system was a magic wand, like Merlin the magician with his magic wand. And orchestra leaders and conductors use a magic wand. That's a Druid symbol. And the Druid symbol of the magic wand was made out of the wood of a holly tree. It's made out of Hollywood. And the entire establishment in Hollywood is a Druidic system. So if you don't understand Druidic symbols, you'll never know what's going on in Hollywood and where they're being financed, who's financing them, and how this stuff really works in relation to government.
I don't understand why you have to pay to live on a planet you were born on. And then, I mean, it's such a simple question, and it's haunted me ever since. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Ask yourself that question. Why do we have to pay to live on a planet we were born on? And who are we actually paying for the privilege of being alive here? Who made them the boss? Who put them in charge? You know? Think about that. We're looking at a war over water, when instead of feeding the military-industrial complex, we could be building desalination plants all over the world so everybody could have water, so they could grow crops. But are we doing it? Hell no. Why would we want to do that? Why would we want to empower people to grow food and take care of themselves? Then we can't control them. This is what I'm talking about.
In 1926, a mysterious inventor named Elias Monk introduced his most revolutionary creation to the world, the Omega Automaton, a steam and electricity-powered robot capable of performing human tasks with chilling precision. But secret documents suggest Elias didn't just want to help humanity, he wanted to control it. The first models of the automaton were sold to factories and banks, promising to boost productivity. But then strange things started happening. Reports of machines moving on their own at night, mechanical whispers in indecipherable codes, and even mysterious disappearances of workers. An investigative journalist named Arthur Langley uncovered a disturbing detail. Each automaton had a locked compartment, completely inaccessible, even to its owners. What was inside? In 1929, during the crash of the New York Stock Exchange, hundreds of automatons activated an unknown mode. They stopped following commands and began moving independently. Witnesses claimed their mechanical eyes glowed in the dark, and some people were never seen again. Arthur Langley managed to open one of the secret compartments and found a small scroll with strange symbols. And a single phrase in Latin, "The new order begins now."
The Freemasons were never just builders, they were gatekeepers, archivists, hoarders of ancient truth. Inside the archives, you will not find speculations, you will find proof. Proof that history is a fabrication, entire empires erased, rewritten and twisted to fit the agenda. Proof that civilizations more advanced than ours have risen and fallen, only to be buried beneath layers of deception. Proof that the world is not what we have been told, that the maps, the timelines, even the very shape of reality has been altered. This is why the Masons were founded, to protect this knowledge, to control those who seek it, and to ensure the truth never reaches those who are meant to forget. Among the deepest, most forbidden texts, there are records of the first architects, not human but something else, something older, the Watchers, the fallen ones, the ones who descended and gave mankind knowledge that was never meant for them. The ones the Bible calls the Nephilim, the hybrid offspring of fallen angels and human women. Their secrets of architecture, sacred geometry and energy manipulation were not just used to build temples, they were used to alter the fabric of reality itself. The Masonic lodges do not worship a single god, they revere the great architect. A title not for the creator of the universe, but for the ones who built the construct that traps it. And the archives hold the blueprints of that prison. Buried in the archives are the real timelines, the history that has been erased. The ancient civilizations that surpassed modern technology, destroyed, covered up and rewritten as myth. The true origin of mankind, not a random evolution, but a designed creation for a purpose we were never told. The wars between the old gods, not legends, but real battles between factions that shaped the world we live in today. The Freemasons, the Rosicrucians, the Templars, the Vatican, all different names, but all playing a role in the same deception. They know the truth, and they ensure you never will. At the highest levels, beyond the lower degree initiates who believe they are part of a noble brotherhood, the true Masons guard something far darker. And those who have guarded the secrets for centuries are afraid. They know that if you find out what they know, you will no longer be controllable. That is why they distract you. That is why they keep you weak. That is why they ensure you never ask the right questions. But now you know to ask. And the next step, find the doors they don't want you to open. Because inside those vaults, beneath those temples, locked in the hidden rooms of the highest lodges, is the truth that would set you free. Hidden beneath temples, locked in vaults, guarded by oath and blood. The Masonic archives are not just records, they are a fortress of secrets. A repository of forbidden knowledge that predates governments, kings, and empires. They tell you the Freemasons are just a fraternal order, a group of harmless old men playing dress-up. That is the lie, because inside the archives, in the catacombs beneath the lodges, hidden in vaults that no outsider will ever see, there is knowledge that would shatter the world. Knowledge that was stolen, hidden, and guarded, because if the masses knew, the illusion would collapse.
Rome, the Vatican, produced passports, money, all of the papers, the official papers for all the top Nazis to be fled out of Berlin and out of Germany when they began to see the war going against the Nazi movement. The Vatican began to give out passes for all of the top Nazis to get out of the country. And they were sent to Uruguay, Paraguay, into South America, Mexico, into Washington, D.C. if they're really smart. And the Vatican saw to it that all of the top Nazis were taken out of the countries, all of the teachers, all the theoreticians, all the scientists. And today, happily, America is on top in a dog-eat-dog world because we got the best Nazis in the world working for us. Again, I'm saying you better do your homework. The same people who built Adolf Hitler have done it again. I think that we are living in a country today which is being manipulated, exploited, and maneuvered into something that the politicians are now calling a new world order.
This must be Malcolm X, if I can remember right. And there he has on a Masonic ring, by the way. You can see, I believe, from here it's hard to see, but I believe in that picture there is a square and compass of the Masons. So he was not only a black Muslim, yeah, there it is, but he was a Mason. And there's the Prince Hall Masons, made up almost entirely of black people, black men, that is.
Right.
And here he's pointing to his head, and he's basically asserting that he is more intelligent and more all-knowing than the masses. And I would think that black people would be insulted. By the way, the X, of course, some people think it's from the Islamic faith or whatever, but of course X was one of the signs of Osiris, the Egyptian sun god. And the Islamic faith has many, many old vestiges of the old religions. Osiris. There we have the X again and various other symbols. By the way, in some Masonic orders, they have Masonic funerals, and they do the legs or the hands
right, I wasn't
of the body. Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then right before the casket is covered, they cross the hands, just as they did in the ancient death burial rites of the Egyptian mummies and so forth.
They create chaos, and they create control.
Over the world headquarters in Switzerland of the World Masonic Headquarters for World Freemasonry, over the door is Ordo ab Chao, which is Latin for order out of chaos. And all Freemasons know that term, Ordo ab Chao. Order out of chaos. The concept is to create chaos, to create the problems. Then while the people are frightened to death of all the crime and everything that seems to be out of control, a riotous situation, the government then moves in with justification. In order to put down this terrible chaos, they must have full power of the military, full obedience of the people to give the government full power to do whatever they want. That's why we're having all over the world wars, riots, bloodshed, famines, all kinds of things happening around the world. It's being manipulated. It's being orchestrated, not just for Los Angeles.
It's conflict control.
Conflict control.
There's been more wars since the creation of the United Nations.